I saw your reaction. Yo, you were screaming like a little girl when Marcy got hit. That was crazy. Oh wait, no, that was me. Never mind. I'm sorry. Long time no see, pal. Okay, let's hop on to this. Okay. Holy crap. That season finale. That was wild. I saw your reaction. Yo, you were screaming like a little girl when Marcy got hit. That was crazy. Oh wait, no, that was me. Never mind. I'm sorry. You were so cool, calm, and casual. You're like, oh. I was losing my mind. Like, what?
I didn't think they were gonna. Everyone's like, why didn't you cry? I can't believe you didn't cry. Like I didn't think anyone was going to die. I didn't think.
Not even
I didn't
Frobo?
think Frobo was gonna die. I didn't think Marcy was gonna die. I didn't think Sprig was gonna die. So like, when I knew that, like, had that expectation going in, I was like very just like, okay, like this will get resolved. Like it's an issue right now, but it will get resolved.
Let's talk about one of the elephants in the room that might be relevant or might not be relevant at all to the story, but I'm kind of thinking maybe it's going to be a little bit relevant because you don't just put something out there like that and it's not like really important. Dr. P, the book that Marcy found because the librarian was too damn lazy to do her job. She got paid that minimum wage. She didn't care. She's like, just leave that book over there. Oh, if only she knew what she was about to unleash. So Marcy found the book, Dr. P. There was a Bill Cipher, little cameo thing in there. Now, basically, we have three options. I already kind of talked about this a lot, but number one, this is one people are kind of going for. Pines, Stanford Pines from Gravity Falls, of mystery and magic. I mean, that kind of makes sense, the Gravity Falls things. Plus, he's got like 12 PhDs or whatever, so that kind of would fit the doctor thing as well. But I'm like, if it's Pines, it's like that's kind of taken away from Amphibia's identity by doing that. But I mean, at the same time, it's a really cool kind of cameo crossover thing, and they've had a ton of references and stuff like that. So Stanford Pines, one of them, the King's pink friend, probably an ancestor of Sprig, possibly. I mean, the King has lived for thousands of years, so I don't know if the pink frog girl can live for thousands of years, or maybe the monster downstairs is what allowed the King to live for thousands of years. We don't really know that much about that, but I guess she could have had the book, took it to Earth with her. I mean, the book's titled like of magic and mystery, and she's been going to like many different worlds, so I think like she would have like a diary or something along those lines, and eventually she went to Earth and then it found its way to the library, or she was a doctor and somehow hid amongst humans and got that book published or whatever. But that's a question if she lived like 1,000 years or not. And then, of course, there's just Sprig's parents. Sprig's mom, Sprig's dad. Maybe they were low-key, like, kind of living a double behind life underneath Hop Pop. Because Hop Pop's like, yeah, we're kind of farmers. We're kind of, like, bottom of the barrel when it comes to, like, tiers in the workplace and stuff like that. So maybe they were low-key kind of doctors in the side. Or they were just doctors in general. And maybe they just decided to take the book with them. It was just, like, just chilling in Hop Pop's house. Because, I mean, Hop Pop's house, there's that whole underground thing too, with so many treasures and weapons and stuff like that. So I would say Pines just to keep it simple and clean, but at the same time it's like Dr. P, it's kind of like it's too big for it to just be Pines. But what do you think?
I mean, I feel that like at this point, especially too, we've already had like the Gravity Falls crossover episode, so I mean at this point I'm just like, we've kind of already had that Gravity Falls, like all the Disney worlds are connected kind of moment in the show.
Right.
Like the Bill Cipher thing in a book, like that's like really quick and it's like, kind of like a blink and you'll miss it. But if you catch it, you're like, oh, hey, I know what that is.
Right.
But like for an entire book, just to be related to Gravity Falls and to have like such a big plot element associated with it would kind of seem just like a waste in a way, just for it to kind of just be like this little Easter egg when it was like the thing that set in motion the entire premise of the show.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, like I'm kind of on board with like it's connected to the Planner family somehow, because I mean we know from the flashback that the frog girl was the one who took the box because it was her silhouette that panned across the street, the screen when the box was gone. So like if she took it, like, yeah, like she probably has a book about other stuff, about other magical stuff, including the Calamity box. I mean, the other thing is that there's that other book that Hop Pop has that also has the Calamity box in it. And he says that that book's been in the family for as long as he can remember. So it's like, it seems that like it's passed down. So if like there's one book in the Planner family that has, you know, magical artifacts and stuff, like, you know, why not two? Especially if one went to like the human world, you know, and had to make an entirely new, you know, book and chronicle, you know, whatever magical artifacts that they come across there. I think with season 3 specifically, since we're back on Earth now, I think like a really interesting plot element would be to go back to the thrift shop to see who dropped off the box in the first place and trying to like track down like who initially dropped it off and how it got there. And a lot of people have been saying like the museum's going to come into play in this because there's going to be something at the museum that can help them either find the box or is connected to the box or like another way to try and get back to Sasha and Marcy or vice versa.
You think it's Sprig's parents or the ancestor?
The Sprig's parents thing, it's just...
Well, I mean, I guess that's the question is are they even alive?
I know, and like that's the thing that's like tricky because it's like it's one of those things like, oh, they were dead, but it's like, at least from Hop Pop's retelling, like he never saw the bodies or anything like that.
It sounds like he just assumed
it's kind of like one of those loopholes in like storytelling where you're like, well, it wasn't like absolutely confirmed that they're dead, so we don't know because no one saw a body. And I don't know, like I also feel if they were alive, it would kind of take away from the moment from racing at the mall, Hopping Mall. That's what it was called.
There you go. Okay.
It was when they were on the balcony and like, you know, Sprig's questioning like, oh, can you miss someone that like you never even met? I don't know. Like I feel it would take away from that moment to just kind of be like, your mom is alive, because that's a part of Sprig's character is like having this
happy ending, Rebecca. Come on.
Oh, see, I'm someone who loves like bittersweet endings because I think they have more impact than just like the everyone lives happily ever after kind of thing. I don't know. I like ones that like leave you feeling a little bit, you know, broken in a little bit, just like it's not that perfect happy like bow on top ending, because I think those leave you feeling, you know, with the sense of greater impact, because you'll be thinking about like, you know, Sprig's connection to his mom that he never had, but like I don't know, like if he ends up with his mom and his parents are alive, you're like, oh, that's nice, they're a happy family now, but you're probably not going to think that much about like how he's going to grow and develop as a character beyond that, because he's not going to have to deal with that anymore, like having that, you know, sense of not having a mother or a father and not having that kind of connection. I don't know. I just like the bittersweet endings. I always think they're more impactful. I mean, if they go that route, totally cool, totally fine. I totally respect that as, you know, with them as storytellers and creatives. But yeah, I'm always someone who likes the bittersweet endings.
Huh. I could explain the darkness in your room right now. All right. I want to say it's like 50-50 with Sprig's parents being alive. I mean, because it was just so open. We didn't even see like we don't even know how they look like. But I guess if they're not going to be alive, I guess it doesn't really matter to leave it up to the imagination.
I mean, they'd have to play a pretty important role in season 3 if they get introduced.
Watch,
I feel
they're in
like,
jail. The government has them.
they're these frogs here, and that's why the guys on the ice cream truck want to get them, because they're like, oh, there's more of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're basically been talked about, you know, essentially like halfway through the series, assuming it's going to be 3 seasons, and Matt likes the, you know, the 3-act format for storytelling, so I'm assuming it's going to be 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, just I feel like they'd have to play such an important role and be incorporated like so well that it wouldn't just feel like they're just forcing them in there and just shoving them into the show. Like, here, Sprig's parents are alive, you know?
Man, I want that happy ending, Rebecca. I
don't know, like, it just doesn't make sense story. As of right now, it doesn't make sense story-wise for them to be like so mysterious and to just be like, to get that first drop and mention of Sprig's parents in Hopping Mall.
Maybe cutting it close. I mean, it is like the final season, basically.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of like, you know, are you just gonna shove them in there at the end just to like include them, or like, you know, they'd have to have like a lot of things going, you know, in
basically,
season 3.
We can't have any filler. We can't have Hop Pop trying to figure out how to work the TV channel or something.
Right, for an entire episode.
I can't wait for those episodes. Those are gonna be great. Freaking.
I think they're gonna be a lot of fun. You know, it's not gonna be like the the usual kind of, you know, more episodic kind of like breather episodes. You know, it's gonna be seeing, you know, essentially Anne's two families like interacting together and like how they're gonna live together.
Okay, so Dr. P, probably a planter. Most likely it's gonna be the ancestor we're going with. Marcy. Marcy's the big one. Ooh, King backstabbed her. Literally. Damn, I didn't want it to be like, we all saw that coming. We all knew like the king was gonna finesse Marcy over here.
Yeah.
But oh man, I'm kind of on the fence. You know what? She is young. She was in distress. You know, you make crazy decisions. You know, you don't think. Oh, except for Lilith from the Owl House, because she knew damn well what she was doing. Don't even get me started with that.
So with Marcy, Lilith didn't know the curse was going to be more for. She just thought it was going to be for a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Marcy didn't think the box was going to work.
Correct.
But she did it anyway.
Correct.
But Lilith thought it was going to be a day. She did it anyway.
Yeah.
So the bad thing happens. You know, Ida gets cursed, and then in Amphibia, you know, all the girls get sent to Amphibia.
Right.
So Lilith could have been upfront and honest after she realized that the curse could have, you know, was going to be longer for than just a day. She could have, you know, been like, hey, I did this thing. I'm really sorry. Feel really bad about it. But she didn't. When Marcy reunited with Anne and Sasha, she didn't confess to them like, hey, I knew what this box was going to do and it sent us here. She lied about it too. She didn't fess up and was honest and like, hey, you know, my family was moving. I didn't want to leave, so I just thought we could use this box that got us all transported here. She kept along with the lie. She pretended like she didn't know. She was lying by omission. When they wanted to open the box to see if they would get sent home, she was like, oh, no. Like, we have to wait to take it to King Andreas. Like, she wasn't honest
I caught
about
that. I
any of
sensed
that.
that. Like, Marcy's sounding kind of sus right now.
Yeah, I know. She wasn't honest. So she lied too, just like how Lilith lied, like, you know, lying by omission, like not acknowledging the mistake that, you know, that they made. You know, and then once Lilith, and I will give Lilith credit here, it's when she realizes that Bellows isn't on her side and not going to keep up his end of the bargain, the thing that was promised to her by, you know, capturing Ida and fixing her curse and healing her curse, is when she betrays the Emperor. And she's like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. She, you know, gives Luce Albert back and the staff. She takes Luce to the petrification, like, platform stage, you know, before Lilith and King get captured by Bellows. So it's like, at least from Lilith, it's once that betrayal happened from Bellows, she made this decision. She's like, oh man, I messed up. Like, I gotta make up for this. I gotta help Luce out and I gotta, you know, get her on my side so we could help Ida together, because they had a common goal. With Marcy, like, even when Andreas is like, I'm gonna rule over all the worlds and stuff like that, and just like, she still didn't confess. It wasn't until Andreas, you know, ratted her out essentially, that Marcy had to come clean. So it's like, it wasn't even like Marcy made the motivated decision to betray Andreas after it looked like things were gonna start to head down south. She was still kind of like trying to, like, you know, be the peacekeeper between the two groups of like, hey, Andreas, you said that, you know, no one was going to get hurt and we were going to go to all these awesome worlds. And she was like trying to convince, you know, Anne and Sasha, you know, like, hey, we can go on adventures together and we'll never have to be apart. She was still trying to like push that idea, even though she had been ratted out and like exposed. So she didn't even have like the motivated decision until basically Anne and Sasha were like, hey, we're not done with this, we're gonna like fight you. It wasn't until kind of like the decision was almost made for her from Anne and Sasha's perspective that she was gonna like fight back against Andreas. I mean, again, Marcy is like you said, like a kid. She's 13, she's gonna make bad decisions, but like her and Lilith parallel in the same way of their decision making actually a lot. And I just think it's really interesting that people are like, yay, Marcy, but they're like, no, like, screw Lilith, we don't like Lilith, even though like their decisions have been very similar in terms of like the motivations and just kind of like the steps along and kind of like those points, you know, when it comes to their development and their arc. I mean, I still like both characters. I still think they're both very interesting, but I mean, like, they're both in the wrong. Like, absolutely. I'm not saying that their decisions were great or anything like that, or that they were justified, but like, you know, there's a lot of similarities between those two characters.
Damn, I wasn't expecting you to say that much. Okay, hold on. No, everyone's gonna be like, oh, finally, someone shut Ed the Wiz up about the Lilith hate.
I would think like the second she got reunited with Anne, like, hey, I know we've been separated from our families and I took you and Sasha away from all your friends and families and loved ones. Feel really bad about that. I did this. Like, it wasn't even like get them home. It was take them to other worlds. So it wasn't even like we're gonna go back home. She's like, Andres is gonna take us to other worlds. So it wasn't even like the intent to get them back home. It was just like, let's go on more adventures together. Just like, it was very selfish decision making on both parts, on both Lilith and Marcy. But yeah, like Marcy, I mean, the thing about, you know, Amphibia is like, we don't know how much time has passed. I know it's been at least several months.
Me crazy. I don't know.
You know, it's been several months at the very least, of, you know, all their parents thinking that they're like dead, possibly. You know, it's just
we
like,
don't know if it's only been like a day compared to like Amphibia in the human world.
Right, but like, I don't know. I mean, like, at least from their perspective, as being an Amphibia, they've been gone for months away from, you know, their other friends and family. But yeah, I mean, like Lilith, I mean, yeah, it's been years. Like, and there's no way to justify that in any way, shape, or form. It's like Marcy's chilling in a tank. Marcy's probably not going to do a lot for a little bit in season 3.
Oh my god! You know what? We should talk about that. All right, so Marcy's in the tank, right? There's a couple things that could happen to her. Number 1, she's just going to be chilling there for the most of the season. Number 2, she's going to end up like the Winter Soldier. King is going to use her to maybe invade Earth or just do something. Number 3, the monster like downstairs maybe is gonna possess her, like use it as a body.
I've seen that theory going on. I mean, I think it's gonna be kind of like almost a combination of all 3 of them in a way, because like I think she's gonna just be like comatose. Like, I don't think she's gonna be completely taken out of like season 3 and it's gonna kind of like become like a rescue mission almost in a way, because that would just be so unsatisfying. Like, for Mercy to be gone completely out of season 1, she gets introduced in season 2, exposed, and then she's just in a tank for season 3, so basically not there. It just like wouldn't be satisfying in that sense. But I do think she's gonna be out for a couple episodes, being in the little whatever healing tube tank.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, the fact that Andreas is healing her makes me feel like they need her for something.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. Why does he need her? Like his whole thing was, don't get the prophecy going. So you would think Marcy dying would be like, whew, okay, we don't got to worry about that prophecy thing. But he's keeping her alive. That's what I'm trying to figure out too. Like, I don't know, maybe if like he's gonna, like, the monster's gonna look inside of her mind.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they need Marcy alive because in order to make sure the prophecy doesn't happen, they still need all 3 girls in some way. Or maybe, you know, maybe it's just kind of like the cop-out, like it's a Disney show and we can't have her completely be dead, you know?
If she, oh my god, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, when I saw this, I'm like, well, there's no way she's gonna die. I thought Maddie was gonna come in clutch and revive her, because we had that whole episode about her, like, reviving that bug thing. That's what I thought they were gonna do, but they completely bamboozled me with the King having her.
I mean, this is kind of one of the interesting things about people who watch the leak versus people who didn't watch the leak, because you went 3 weeks without seeing the season 3 intro, so you were actually sitting there thinking for 3 weeks, like, oh man, like, what's gonna happen to Marcy?
Yeah.
Like, is she gonna be alive? Who's gonna resurrect her? Like, so it's like, yeah, but like once you saw the intro, you kind of got that instant like, oh no, it's okay, she's okay. So it's like you didn't even have to think about it that long. Like, I would have honestly loved to have sat and like had to think about
Rebecca,
it for a while.
I was stressing here for months.
Oh man, see, I love like the just like that thought eating away at you. Yeah, I mean, like, and honestly, I think I would have preferred that instead of to get that instant, like, kind of like gratification of just like, oh no, she's okay. I would have much rather have sat there for, God, honestly, I would have preferred if they just didn't show us the season 3 intro at all for like months, just to sit on and like and think on it and just have that thought just in the back of your head of like, what's gonna happen to Marcy?
Do you need a hug? Cause you be thinking so crazy.
Yeah, I like moody, just like storytelling and characters. I like stuff that makes you like sit and think, and just like sometimes it's not always like, you know, happy thoughts. Sometimes it's just like really like messes you up in the head a little bit. But just, man, I love life.
A lot of people were like, thank God we had this intro. Otherwise, I would have been like stressing about what happened to Marcy. You're like, damn it, they have to show the intro.
No, I was like, I know. Like I would rather not have found out. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It just like it was such like a huge thing. Like, and just to get that instant like relief of just like
damn it, I wanted to suffer a little bit. What is this
I wanted
nonsense?
to suffer, yeah.
Well, I'm actually surprised that we got that intro. Were you surprised?
I feel part of it was probably just because of how poorly the situation was handled, and so they're like, okay, we'll give him like something to kind of like look forward to as kind of like a we're sorry.
He said that stay tuned for after the episode. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be like a thank you thing, or maybe like
I thought it was gonna be Matt. Because I thought like a while ago he did a poll for like to celebrate like 50,000 like followers on Twitter,
and
like he's gonna sing a song,
okay,
and he was gonna sing "Welcome to Amphibia," and I was like, oh, maybe it's him like singing "Welcome to Amphibia" or something like that. I was just like, oh no, it's the season 3 intro.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? Like that's how okay, yeah, things are progressing nicely. We already got the intro. Yeah, he's got to do something with her. I doubt she's just gonna be there the entire time.
No, it wouldn't be fulfilling at all on like Marcy's end to be like I guess the parallel kind of like this flip where like Marcy always wants to be like the hero and be the savior to being the one who needs to be saved, which is like good for her character, but I don't think that has to be dragged out for an entire season. I think that they could probably resolve that by the mid-season finale for season 3, and I think that would still be fulfilling because then Marcy still has the rest of season 3 to develop from there after having to deal with all the consequences of her actions.
Yeah, now that I think about it, her actions were kind of wild. I mean, and Sasha, all 3 of them could have got killed in this place, but we had plot armor, so of course we were okay.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for plot armor, yeah, we've seen. I'm wondering if maybe he wants to use her as a bargaining chip too. Like, oh, you want to get your friend's alive? Do what I. Listen to me, or I'll cut the plug or something.
Yeah, I mean, Sasha's still there, so I mean, that could work because Sasha's probably still going to keep trying to, get Marcy back. So, I mean, she could definitely be used as a bargaining chip in that way. But yeah, just, I'm very interested to see how, like, after the portal closed on Earth, like, what happened on the other side back in Amphibia? Like, what was that situation? Because, like, I mean, yeah, they ended up on Earth, like, Anna and the Planters ended up on Earth, and, like, that's crazy. But what happened after that? What happened after, like, Marcy hit the floor and just the portal closed, and then Sasha and Grime are still there? It's like, what happened there? What was that situation like?
They dipped real quick. Yo, I can't believe Sasha low-key ended up being, like, the hero within that finale. Because she was trying to stop Anne because she saw the portrait with the king. Damn, the king was lazy as hell. He literally just left that portrait thing. He just like put a drape over it and called it a day. It's like,
I know, right?
It's like when your parents
I brought that up. I thought that was really, really funny. Like, man, you didn't have like a maid like, dusting and just like, oh, what's this?
Yeah. Oh my God, that dude was so full of himself over here. But in terms of Sasha, yeah, so she low-key was the GOAT, but you know what? She cried wolf. Anne got sick and tired of listening to her nonsense. I was happy when Anne did that. Like, yeah, you know what? You don't gotta be dealing with this nonsense. But, we see with Sasha, now she's just like, oh, I don't even know anymore. Like, am I scummy? Am I not scummy? And at first, I was like, you know what? Sasha should have been the one that got stabbed. That would have been the ultimate, like, okay, you know
what?
Why
Sasha?
What?
Why Sasha? She just had her redemption.
No. See, like with Sasha, what's it called? All right. So she's been kind of an ass like the entire time.
Yeah.
Whatever. She's a bully, this and that. So I was thinking at first, like, oh, it would have been so satisfying if like Sasha pushed Marcy or somebody out of the way and she got stabbed, and that's like the ultimate I'm sorry, Anne. But now that I think about it a little bit more, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad she didn't get stabbed and it was Marcy because. Well, first off, because Marcy, hey, that's what happens when you play games, Marcy, and you talk to strangers, bad stuff happens. But with Sasha, I'm like, okay, so wait a minute. Now she's in a position where she's like, going to be the leader. Of course, as always, that's Sasha, top dog. But now she's going to be like befriending pretty much everyone in Wartwood, everyone she was basically against. And now that she's hanging out with like these people, she might start to discover herself a little bit more and like, friendship. What do you know? Helping others, this and that. Like, I can't believe Toady, like, he was giving her that Taka no Jutsu speech. I was like, Toady? I can't believe like, Toady, my man Toady, really came in clutch like that. I thought that was absolutely wild. But, at first I thought, Sasha getting stabbed, no, that would have been kind of redeemable for me. And then maybe she would have been like, well, you know what? It would have been too quick. It would have been like, okay, you know what? I'm never going to be an ass again. And she learns about the value of friendship. But now she can kind of work with it a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's kind of like that trope in, media where it's like, the person who gets redeemed and then like immediately like they make the self-sacrifice and they die. And it's a trope for a reason because it works and people like it, and it's this this
You're
intense thing of like kind of like almost like a martyr, like I've done all these horrible things, so like I deserve to die to make up for everything that I've done, and you all live. And like I get it, and I think that's like a fine way to approach it, but just it's so unfulfilling in the sense that you don't get to see how characters develop beyond that. So it's like, if they redeem themselves and then they die, and then you don't get to see like how they progress, how they go from there. And I'm really glad that we're gonna get to see that with Sasha, especially because she's been so back and forth with her development. It's always kind of been like a step forward, a step back. Like it's always just kind of been hovering in this like same space, like on this, are you going to be redeemed or are you not going to be redeemed kind of scale. And what I was going to say before about Marcy is that, the interesting thing about Marcy is that like everyone loved her, but I think everyone still had the thought of like, she's gonna betray Anne in some way. Like we didn't know how it was gonna.
Every time I saw her on screen,
I know, I was just like, she's gonna do something that's gonna hurt Anne. It may not have been intentional. It may not have been with ill intent, but like she is going to betray and screw over at least Anne in the very least. In some way. Like I think everybody called that. Well, maybe not everybody, because I think some people were actually genuinely shocked that Marcy was the one who sent them all there. But yeah, I think everybody called that. Whereas like with Sasha, it's shown very, very early on that she's not always a good friend. So it was interesting seeing like the differences between Anne and Sasha and Marcy, where it's like, Sasha's kind of like the bully friend and the one who likes to be in control, whereas Marcy was like, the nicer friend, but still had selfish desires that ended up screwing over her other two friends. So it was interesting seeing how these two characters were presented. And now with Sasha, like you said, like she's gonna get a chance to go back to Wartwood and kind of like, be like, the person in control, the commander, like, kind of like the brains of like the army kind of in a way, like what she's really good at now with Wartwood. And like I think that's gonna be awesome to see, because like especially with this season, Sasha was only shown like a handful of times in season 1, and then she was shown in Toadcatcher, and then she was shown in Barrel's Warhammer, and then like we got her pretty much every single episode like after that, which was like unheard of for Sasha. So she was like this character that was just like kept off the table for so long, and now like after we hit that like halfway point with at least season 2B, once we hit the halfway point past there, like that is just like she's just there like in every single episode and interacting with Anne and Marcy, and it was just like such an interesting thing to see because we never really got that. But yeah, no, like I'm very excited to see where Sasha's character goes from here, because I think it's finally going to be like the true redemption that she's like been working towards the whole time.
I was wondering, like, I wonder if Sasha is gonna like try to maybe rescue Marcy. Like try to do a little rescue plan, but I don't think it's gonna work out too well because the king just got way too much power.
Definitely, so. Like, I think they're gonna end up in Wartwood because they have like nowhere else to go. Because, like, I mean, presumably the Toad armies are still just like chilling outside once they saw the castle take off. They're just like, well, I guess we can't do anything with that, because I'm assuming the castle's gonna have to land that, or they're just gonna jump ship and just like, hope for the best.
Yo, the king was wild. He really just blew up Toad Tower like that. Was there only one Toad Tower, or was there like multiple ones?
There's 4. There's one for each direction. Like when you met the Toad Lords in Barrel's Warhammer, I don't know which one got destroyed, I'd have to go back and look.
At first, I thought it was the. You know how that new guy took the position? I thought that was the tower.
Maybe.
But I don't think it was him, because no, he's definitely probably still around in a different tower.
Because I mean, the tower that Grime had, I'm assuming, is still destroyed from when it was blown up at the end of Reunion. So there would only be 3 towers left.
Okay.
And now 2, since one of them's blown up. So now there's 2 left.
Mayor Toadstool dodged the bullet not taking that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder which tower he would have been put in charge of. But yeah.
Well, he had a 1 in 4 shot of not getting. Well, yeah, getting vaporized.
Yeah. So I mean, he definitely dodged a bullet there.
You know what? We should probably talk about the king. The king. This man with that basic Sasuke backstory. Oh, I was conquering worlds. My friends betrayed me. Heart of the cards. May my heart be my guiding key. My friends are my power. I'm there. Get all that nonsense out of here. I was like, okay, I'm wondering, and this is funny because I was doing like a live stream conversation about this, and people were like, hold on, Ed the Wiz, you're telling me you'll give the king a second chance, but you won't give Lilith a second chance? I was like, okay, hold on. Well, I'm wondering if the king could possibly, now I'm not saying he'd be redeemed, but maybe he's actually gonna like be the one to kind of help us at the end save the day. Like, okay, he might just be a villain that we eventually just kill, or he gets trapped in another world or something along those lines. You know, we get rid of the basic generic ass villain. Or maybe your man is gonna have a change of heart at like kind of the last minute, understand that friendship. Or maybe like maybe the monster thing is gonna betray the king, and the king's like, what? I got betrayed again? God damn, I just can't get this friendship thing going. And then Anne will come in with a hope speech and be like, come on, king, you gotta be with us. See, this is why I'm kind of thinking, like, I'm kind of hoping that maybe well, I doubt the ancestor's alive at this point, but if the king's alive, who's to say that the pink frog ancestor can't be alive? So I'm like, if the king's pink frog person is alive, maybe she could come in with that hope speech that like, this is why you were wrong, this and that. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe. I mean, first off, like, we got to think about this. Like, this is what the chat said to me. Ed the Wiz, are you out of your damn mind? In like 5 minutes, he killed Frobo. He tried to kill Polly. Like, holy crap. He kind of like a villain or whatever, but I'm like, this man goes for those results. Like, okay, I can respect that. So he tried to kill Polly. He stabbed Marcy. He nuked Toad Tower.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know how many people were in there. Like, I know the Toad army's like all left to go take over Utopia. There was at least one guy.
Yeah, there was that one dude. I got
on the Toad, but it's like, I'm assuming there were still some people who weren't like fighters in there that he just nuked. Like,
they were just having some cereal, some nice breakfast, and boom.
Lilith hasn't killed anybody. She has not killed a single person.
Well, I mean, do you think the king might like pull a fast one? Maybe like actually end up helping us, or you think he's just like, nah, he's out, he's gonna die or whatever?
I mean, at this point, it's like Andreas, and like with how Andreas was set up from the very beginning, it's like we knew he had ulterior motives. So it's like we always kind of knew he was going to betray them in some way.
Oh, yeah.
The real question was, you know, what motivates Andreas to do this? And we got that, you know, at the end of the first temple where we see like, oh, he's working under somebody. So like, okay, that's our big bad. Like, that's who is the ultimate baddie of the series. So I think it's always going to be take down whatever the thing in the basement of the castle is. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be like, we need to kill this, trap this, you know, send it to another dimension, whatever. That's going to be like the big one. With Andreas, I mean, he could get kind of like a redemption in a way, but honestly, I think he's probably just going to be like revoked of his, you know, leadership of Utopia. I think he's going to probably be like put in a jail cell or something like that and just have to sit and think about, you know, all the stuff he did alone in a jail cell. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, he could get killed, but I just think since like there's somebody above Andreas, like Andreas isn't the main threat. This thing he's working under is. So that's going to be like their first priority, because in a way, Andreas is still kind of like a pawn in a sense, maybe not as expendable as a pawn, but is still more, in the creature's eyes, an expendable piece, that if it's him or me, he's going to get rid of Andreas.
Okay. So Andreas might even get betrayed. Yeah.
It's possible.
Ah, man. I don't even know what that thing is. I'm still trying to figure out if it's from another world,
Like
if it's
the
from
knight
here.
or whatever from the prophecy.
Yeah, wait. You know what? Maybe he'll just be pissed off and just like go at the night thing. Like, damn it, I'm getting sick and tired of being betrayed by people. What the hell is this nonsense? And then he might
That's a completely change of heart. Just like,
he might end up causing his own demise. I mean, who really knows?
dear diary, my friends were mean to me again today.
All I wanted to do was conquer worlds, and they just took the box.
Yeah,
from
I mean,
me?
like,
What the
he's
hell
a
is
conqueror. Like, he's not a good person. Like even though he had friends, like I'm sure he was just like, here, let me like show you this cool thing I can do. I can like travel to worlds and conquer them. And they were just like,
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
about
not.
This, buddy. Yeah.
And then they're like, we're gonna go. We're gonna leave.
Man, I tell
And
you,
he
the
was,
king
like,
was
so shocked.
I tell you, the king was probably one of the craziest characters that I was definitely overanalyzing. I thought maybe he was gonna be like, he's a good guy. No, like he's got good intentions, but he's gonna go about things in a scummy way. But villain, whatever. I'm fine with that. I'll leave that for Kingdom Hearts. That's another story.
Oh, I think she's gonna dip. Like, she started fighting the robots. Like, I'm sure Olivia and Yunin were like,
what the
we
fuck?
didn't sign up for this. This wasn't in the, the job description.
Yeah,
like, we're
there you
gonna
go. Yeah,
we're gonna head out.
Here.
My favorite animation error from the episode is that it's like when the city is about to lift off, instead of Lady Olivia, it's just like some guy, like some farmer newt guy who's just like with the gang, and it's just like, who's this guy? Like, how did he get here? They just like used a different character model, like when they were animating, instead of Lady Olivia's. So you just have like this random citizen just like hanging out with the group, and it's just
I saw that. I was like, what?
yeah, it's like, man, this guy must have had like just the worst day. Just like
he came to wax the floors, and he was like, wait, what the fuck is this?
Wrong place, wrong time. Just
man.
But that's another question I actually have, is like, before Marcy hops through, she was like, hold on, I just need to, and then that's when she gets stabbed. Right. It's like, what else did she need to do?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was like something to keep Andreas from tracking them or following them or something like that, but it's just like, what did you need to do, Marcy? What was the other thing?
That reminds me, I'll give Sasha some points over there. She was on the defense. She says, you guys go, I'll stay here with the king. All right, Sasha making that sacrifice play, kind of. I like it. There you go. See, Sasha pulling through. See, I never really hated Sasha too much, because your girl's a champion. She's a winner. She knows. I mean, yeah, okay. She crossed the finish line. She got first place, and all she got was an empty trophy. There was no like friendship at the end of the day. But I was like, you know what? That trophy that Grime won, that was a nice ass trophy.
Yeah, I mean, Sasha's always been a character that has cared about Anne and Marcy. I just don't always think she went about it the best way in showing them that.
Yeah, she's like, hey, like when it came to the battle of the band thing or whatever, right? Sasha was like, man, can't they just see him trying to be a good friend? Sure, I'm making these changes or whatever, but so it's that we win. And Sasha's probably like, you'd think you'd be happy if we won, right? I mean, who doesn't want to win? Winner. Yeah, number one. Give me that blue trophy or whatever. But sometimes it ain't even about that. Because Sasha was like, you know what? Even though I lost, I had a good time. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Unless, I don't know, depending on how big that trophy is, then, hold on. Friendship, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, Sasha's always been like very, very competitive. I mean, which makes sense why like she kind of ended up with like the Toads, because like they're the most, I feel
they're pretty like
militaristic kind of species that we've seen so far, which is why it works well with her and Grime, and why she likes being with the Toads, and why she was even like, yeah, I'll capture Newtopia and stay here and not go back to Earth.
My language over here.
Yeah, like it makes sense for her, but I think when she's like, oh, there's like a bigger enemy here, like Andreas, we gotta stop this guy, like this is beyond anything that we thought, which is what I kind of always assumed would happen with Sasha as a character. I didn't see her like staying like evil for the whole series. I felt like she was gonna have to hit a change of heart at some point because we saw how conflicted she was throughout the series, and that was kind of like the the final push that she needed. Yeah, like Sasha, I think is gonna be awesome in season 3.
Hey, your girl rocks the dual wielding. I'm like, it doesn't get any better than that. And like, first off, oh yeah, she got the kicks on and everything. Finally,
It's just 2 shoes.
Got those leaves out of her hair. Ah, it was a beautiful sight.
Honestly, I think the leaves and the branches like growing and like her cool.
Oh, that
like,
was cool.
Whatever calamity, like I think that was a good incorporation.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, the leaves actually have plot. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. But what's it called? Yeah. So Anne. Well, you see, we can see Anne. We see in the intro that Anne transforms. So I'm wondering. Wait a minute. Does she still only have that tiny % of power inside of her, or did she take a bit more from the Calamity Box?
I mean, it seemed that, like, at least based on Andres's dialogue, that she was still connected to the gem in some way. So I interpreted that as like her link to the gem was still connected, and like that was
so she just like borrowed
giving
it?
the power to her is how I interpreted it. But yeah, I mean, she can still use it, so it's like it's still within her, and like we know just from the premise of the show that the gems and the box still work even on Earth, so you don't even have to be Amphibia to make it work. So it makes sense like why she can still use her powers, on Earth, because she still has the power of the gem within her. I don't know if it's gonna be like weakened at all, maybe, or just
maybe
like,
nerfed down a little bit.
Maybe, I have no idea.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she literally teleported, grabbed that rocket thing, and threw it back out. I was like, hold on, your girl's still a savage out here.
Yeah, but like I'm sure she'll probably like try and master and like get better at using that form.
Maybe that was just like the trigger point. Like once she transformed, and now since she got a taste of it, she can like do it again.
I mean, it was motivated by like an extreme emotional response, so it's like she's gonna have to learn how to activate that without
getting angry all the
chucked
time
out of a window.
Yeah, basically Super Saiyan. Usually they get angry, they're like ah, and now they just kind of just do it like boom at will.
Yeah, maybe I'm picturing like an alternative method of going about this where just someone always needs to be in danger, so it's just like Polly, Hop Hop, Sprig are just like throwing themselves in front of like cars and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
Just like to activate the powers.
Hop quick, jump in the road.
Yeah, just jump in the road, it's fine.
Oh my god, that reminds me.
I'm sure she'll learn how to like control it, just activate it without like anybody being in danger or anything like that.
That reminds me of Adora from She-Ra. Like it's always when her friends are in like critical danger or whatever, that's when she really turns up. I'm like, yeah, Adora, that would have been great a while ago, but yeah. That power was awesome. I wasn't expecting that. That was great. Like, I
wish it wasn't spoiled for me. That would have been great.
Oh no! Gee, pal. Oh no! I mean, we have Frobo with us. It looks like we have those mechanic people, so maybe they'll be able to get something out of him. Maybe a location to somewhere.
100%.
Yeah,
they're gonna be the ones that put him back together.
You know what? Let me ask you this, just because. Do you think Anne is gonna have to go through talking with Marcy's parents and everything, and Sasha? I mean, it really depends on the time thing, because we don't know how much time has passed between the human world and that. So maybe it's only been like a couple of hours or something like that. Well, we do know when they teleported, it was night. When she came back home, it was daytime. So at least a day has passed, or a couple of hours. But I'm like, I mean, it really depends. It's gonna be kind of awkward, because like, yeah, obviously Sasha's parents are gonna be like, "Whoa, yo, where's my girl?" Marcy's parents are gonna be like, "Yeah, where's my girl?" Oof.
I mean, I would hope that they address that, because that would be like a really big plot hole just to leave like open.
Well, if it's been days and months and they just don't acknowledge that, then yeah.
But I mean, even like a day, because I do remember from an AMA that Matt did, someone asked about their birthdays, and he said that those would be a spoiler. So we know, at least with Anne, they got transported on her birthday. So if a couple hours went by, at the very least a couple hours went by, it was just the next day, it would be the day after Anne's birthday that she got back. But I mean, if it's been like months and months and months, years even, like, you know, it would have passed Sasha's birthday, Marcy's birthday, like, so maybe those will come up in some way.
Oof. Okay. Yeah, I'm not ready to see that. Oof. That's gonna hurt me. Ah, hey, where's Marcy at? Yeah, you see, the thing is, ooh, oh, that's the worst part. Anne doesn't even know Marcy's condition. That's even worse. I just thought
know
about
she doesn't
that
know
right now.
Sasha either. She doesn't know what happened to them.
Yeah, you're
She
right.
just,
Oh yeah, there's Sasha
yeah.
too. I forgot about her.
She was fighting the king last time she saw, so it's like she could be dead too for all she knows. But you know, yeah, like that's gonna be really interesting. Like I hope we get an episode where we get to see what happened on the other side of the portal back in Amphibia, because I'm really curious to know how all that went down.
You know what hurts that I realize as well? Every time we watch Amphibia and we go through the intro, we have to see Marcy in that test tube thing. Oh god. And like, yeah, Amphibia, let's go. Oh, Marcy.
She'll be fine.
Yeah,
she'll be okay.
She got plot armor.
Yeah, it'll all be good. But yeah, you do have to kind of watch that every single time. Like, oh yeah, that's still a thing.
That's so funny. Marcy, you see her in critical state. Lilith, you just see her with like a rag outfit.
I know. I really want to know why she has like the new outfit. And it's like you can see like her dress is like stitched together. It kind of looks a lot more like
they
Vita's.
cut her off that paycheck. She said, "You ain't getting
and
nothing
I'm just
anymore."
like, well, yeah, but she didn't have to like go into like a peasant like look or anything like that. She could have kept the clothes. Like she could have washed them and cleaned them. Like
nah, Ida was like, "This is step one of you kind of messing up my life."
I mean, like, hey, listen.
I think that kind of covers everything with Amphibia.
Now we get to wait a year for it to come back.
Oh god. Wait a minute, hold on. We still haven't talked about the biggest thing right now. What is in that mug?
Oh, it's just the Croy.
The what?
It is sparkling water, black raspberry.
There you go, viewers.
There you go, people.
Wait, I think that was the same thing you were drinking last time we had a conversation.
I like sparkling water. Like I don't remember what flavor I had last time, but yeah, I like sparkling water. So
I'll give Amphibia credit for actually having the balls to do that Marcy thing. That's still crazy. I mean, if Amphibia was able to pull something like that off, it makes me wonder about the Owl House, right? Like,
yeah.
Holy
Dana's
crap.
been hyping it up that it's darker than the first season and the tone she intended to go for from the beginning. So I'm just like, hell yes.
Yeah,
let's go.
I was like, this is some Owl House nonsense. What? Amphibia? Oh, to Marcy? Damn, brutal. Oh, no. Yeah. Oof, Amity about to make that sacrifice play for Luz. God damn. Oh, no.
People would be so upset.
The Lumini shippers.
Like
no, my ship.
Yeah. Down goes the ship. It's sinking.
Oof. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything for Amphibia. Yep. Season finale, great. Sucks that it got leaked.
Yeah.
And got the Super Saiyan Blue power. Nice. Marcy on standby. Sasha with the redemption. King kind of trash right now. Dr. P probably a planter. The monster thing in the basement. Who really knows? I ain't gonna be stressing about this too much. I'll just wait till a year from now.
Right.
I waited 5 years on the Kingdom Hearts mobile device for crying out loud.
just slowly just getting these little pieces.
Yeah, if you can handle that, you can handle anything right now.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Guys, so that is basically it from us, Rebecca. It's been a swell time, pal. Thanks for swinging by. Don't forget to check out her channel. Link will be in the description below, where if you're looking for some more good Owl House Amphibia content as well, she is there for you. So until next time, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say bye, pal. We'll see ya real soon.
Bye.
There you go.